So I'm vlogging with my DJI Nano. I'm at my local park. It's a beautiful day, so I thought I'd get out here and vlog and talk with you guys and give you just a quick update on what's going on with my bike situation. So I got an update from the guys at the bike shop, and they were telling me that the front disc was actually damaged and it possibly happened in shipping. And this is why it's rough when you order a bike online, because you don't know what parts are bent, whether it's the forks, the handlebar, the stem shaft, or if it's the chain ring itself, or even if it's the derailleur. So it all happens during the shipping process and the delivery process. So I'm going to have that replaced. But it was a lesson learned, because this was my first ever front disc bike, right? I usually have rim brake bikes, and which I probably might be going back to, but after dealing with the front disc issues I've been dealing with, I think I'm going to go strictly back to rim brake bikes. Now, don't get me wrong, the next bike I've been interested in, which is also a gravel bike, it is a front disc bike. Don't get me wrong, it has a rear disc and a front disc, but it's a front disc brake bike versus a rim brake bike. So I'm kind of like torn, because it's a gravel bike and it's an amazing looking gravel bike. Well, there's two of them I've been interested in. One was a Kent Dirt Runner, and the other is an Ozark Trail, a drop handle road, a G1 Explorer. It's a road bike. And I'm interested in both of those because I love road bikes with a passion. But I'm also interested in the Concord road bike. And man, but especially the Concord with the drop handles on it looks really, really amazing. And I really want to order that. But yeah, that's what happened with the front disc, is because when I got it delivered, the front disc was bent and everything like that. They tried to bend it back in and see if it'll work that way or anything like that. But unfortunately, they couldn't fix it. So they're going to have to replace it outright. It was a cheap repair, thankfully, but it was a lesson learned when it comes to dealing with disc brakes. But yeah, I got more bike vlogs coming for y'all. I just thought I'd really get on here and talk with you guys and let you know what's going on with those situations and everything like that. But all in all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of not disappointed though. Like I said, for a bike I got off of Amazon, for as cheap as I got it, 150 bucks, I'm not disappointed. You know what I mean? It rides really well, besides that front disc brake issue. It rides really well, it's really smooth, it's very lean, it's light. Because when I took a good look at the frame, I realized that it looked a little heavy, because all the brake cables and stuff like that is implemented into the frame. So I was like, man, it's got to be a heavy little road bike and everything. But when in actuality, when I hopped on it, took it for a test drive around the block, a test ride around the block, it actually was lighter than I had anticipated. So don't be afraid to go get yourself a budget bike. This is why I said this in the previous video. Don't be afraid to get yourself a budget bicycle. You don't have to spend crazy amount of money to get a Cannondale or a Trek bike if it's not in your budget to do so. You know what I mean? Like, I seen this one content creator, he was talking about how he spent well over $2 grand for a Trek road bike. It was a carbon bike, well, a carbon frame bike, and he didn't ride it 8 months out of the year. You know what I mean? He said he just used it as a laundry, like a laundry holder or something like that. Use it to dry his laundry on. But this one in particular summer day, he felt like it was the perfect time to take it out. So, and that's what a lot of people end up doing, is like they let these bikes sit. Like they'll buy them for the name, and then they'll let these bikes just sit. That's why I always say, go for a bike that will be within your price range, that you can manage to take care of, because the more expensive the bike, the more expensive the parts. So make sure you get a bike that's actually in your price range. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get a bike that you're going to use as your daily commuter, because that's what's going to matter the most. Is like, are you going to use this bicycle, or are you going to actually going to let this bike sit? You know what I mean? And that's what I did with my bike. I actually took it out, took it for a ride around the block. You know what I mean? I let my wife ride the bike. I let my kids ride the bike, which my daughter crashed it. It was crazy. She actually did crash it. When my daughter crashed the bike, the forks were bent, but thankfully they weren't bent too bad. The handlebars were bent, and I was able to bend the handlebars back in shape. All it was the stem wasn't really tightened, you know what I mean? So the stem I'd had to tighten and retighten and stuff like that. And she was able to ride it just fine after that. But make sure you get yourself a commuter bike that you're going to use on a daily basis. Make sure you get all your safety equipment and stuff like that. Make sure you size yourself for your bike, because a lot of people make the mistake of buying bikes that they think they need, right? They buy bikes that they think they need or they really want without getting properly sized for it. And when a bike is too small or too tall for them, they get disappointed, you know what I mean? When it was really, they didn't get sized for it. But all in all, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a quick update on what's going on with my bike and everything like that. But if you're interested in getting a bike, go check out your local bike shop to get proper sizing done. Also, you can check them out online, walmart.com, Amazon, eBay. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with catching a sale on eBay. You might catch a good vintage bike for $300, maybe $500 or a little less than that. You know what I mean? I found a good few Raleigh bikes, drop handle Raleigh bikes that I was interested in. And it's been years since I've seen a good Raleigh bike. So I'm interested in one of those as well. I put those bikes on my list. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one to get on here and give you guys a quick update. Now, I am going to have some poetry vlogs coming when I get back from my work schedule. My work schedule. When I get back from my busy work week, like 2 weeks now, when I come back, I'll have some poetry vlogs for y'all and everything. And I'll do some poetry performances for y'all. It's been too long since I did any poetry performances. And this channel was founded, the base of this channel was founded on not vlogs, but poetry. You know what I mean? So I want to bring that back. And I've been saying I wanted to bring that back for the longest. But anyway, I love you guys. I thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. Good night. God bless.